So there's a different production in this. Yes, so the sun is progressing later, not later. Because this means like, yeah, I'll see you later. We'll get together later. This is later on means a progression of time. This is the one that vocabulary word you learned in Unit 15. Remember when you were learning about when clauses, transitions, and narratives? Okay, so this is later on. Got it?
And when we're doing the move across the sky, the sun...
We don't need your horizon. Yes. So the sun, so you're going to do the sun, and then that's a DCL, right? And we're just moving across the sky.
So we don't need the whole arm.
You don't need the horizon. No.
Okay.
No. Even when we do, like, the only time that we would use the horizon is for sunset, because we're going to set up the horizon. You can find horizon. That's horizon. And then you set up the horizon, and you do sunset and sunrise. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, we don't need the horizon. All right, blah, blah, blah. And what does this ECL mean? Euler?
They're like coming.
What does element classifiers? Yes. And remember, with element classifiers, what we're talking about are things that we can move but are not tangible. Okay, so you can't really pick up smoke, can't really pick up wind, can't really pick up fire, can't pick up water, but you see that it moves. There's some kind of movement or some kind of placement, and that's why APCLs are a different kind of thing. Because literally when we say the sun and then we sign shines down like this, okay, what is this 5 representing?
The rays.
The rays of the sun, exactly. So it's not like we look up in the sky and we see all these strips of sun. It's just representing that movement of that light, which is coming downwards. Okay? This can play. The reason why I put that on there is because something that we're going to be talking about a little bit when you hear, and I always forget this, but if you say something like it's young, and then if you say it's younger, and then if you say it's young, sorry girl, is. Okay, so you have these quantities of being even, young or more young or the most young. Okay, so the way that we interpret these ers and the s is we sign more for the and s, I'm sorry, not s, that's not a word, most for the s. Okay, so you remember the sign for oldest, right? And we literally sign young is. Okay, so that is kind of like one of those bound morphemes. Does anybody remember what a bound morpheme is? Oh, please, somebody remember. What's a morpheme?
Something you get when
Rita, really? Come on! What? Say it. Hold on, I can't with it. That's it. Say that word. What is it, Kana? It's a word. It's a word. A morpheme is a word. Okay? So morphology is the study of, yes, the study of the lexical items. And I just said that to you.
Whenever I think of the word morphine, I think of like animorphs, and I'm just like, that's not it.
Yeah, well, they're linguists. You're linguists. Come on. I'm telling you, who surprised the heck out of me was, do you know Laura Crespa? Laura Crespa something.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's so like, right? I mean, she's cute as a bug's ear, but she was trying to figure out the difference between phonological processes and compounding processes. Y'all remember this, right? And she had this epiphany. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was such good. This is what she said, such good. English mind, not such good. It's like me always saying more better. I'm going to get back to this. What did she say? how to say it? Okay, so phonological processes means that there's something happening at the that there's something happening with the sign that doesn't change the meaning. Compounding processes happen when there's something that's going on with the sign that changes its meaning. For example, wait for it, this is the epiphany. The sign for no. You can put it on your cheek, you can put it on your chin, you can put it on the side. We know that it's a hold and the placement of the location is on the head. But we know that because of, and we talked about this, the difference between the prescriptive rules and the characteristic rules of language use. Remember how we talked about that? That characteristically, a lot of people just do no. So it doesn't really matter where you put it, it's still the sign for no, correct? But if you took the same handshake and put it on your chest, it becomes, which is knowledge that's inside of you.
What?
I know, isn't that good, right? You know it, it's in you, so you have it. So like I have a car, right? So I know it's mine. I have a daughter, so I know it belongs to me.
I love it.
Isn't that good?
I love
I was like, damn, I was so impressed. I really was. Like, I was like, it's good, right?
Yes.
And I went, yes, look at you. I was so excited, yes. That makes me so happy when you guys like have those little epiphanies. You're like, bing, 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 and whatever, and all the sirens and stuff. Yeah, okay, so going back. So what's a bound morpheme? Oh, you thought I forgot, didn't
Asian
you?
markers?
What? Oh, that's a bound morpheme. And if I did this, would that be a bound morpheme? Yes, because what's the sign for those?
For what?
You have it's a two-handed symbol, right?
Got it.
But we can go young this. But if I just did this, is that the sign for most?
No.
So it's bound. So what do we know about bound morphemes?
Uses movement of.
Say it.
They have to be signed together.
They have to be together. Yes, they cannot stand there alone. So I can sign young all the live long day, right? Can sign that all, but I can't sign this.
Right.
Okay, can't sign this because this doesn't mean anything, right? So in this stimuli that you're doing, you also have the word playful, okay? So what does playful mean? Don't look at my gloss. What does it mean, playful? Give me some English words. Playing around.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Having fun.
It's a good thing.
What?
Good.
Enjoying
You know,
yourself.
like Eric is very playful. So Eric is very
Happy.
happy, silly, right? So who are our consumers that want us to transliterate? What do we know about our consumers?
English.
Pardon me?
English.
Yeah, they want English. So do you think that they would know the word playful or be aware? Yes. So literally when we see the word full or we hear the word full, what we're going to do is we're going to use the word can. Okay? Okay, so if we think of another example with the word full, with the, suffix full. Can you,
Hopeful.
what?
Hopeful.
Hopeful. So, yes, you can hope for it. Doesn't that make sense? Okay, so we wouldn't sign the sign full because this means like a cup has a lot of stuff. Conceptually, I've seen interpreters do it. Yeah, and I go, oh Lord, please help me, help me, help. Yeah, I just really have to bite my tongue sometimes when I see things. So. Anywho, yeah. So when you hear that a word, the adjective like playful, hopeful, another word,
Thankful.
careful, we have a symbol. Thankful, yes.
Mouthful.
What?
Mouthful.
Honey. That's an idiom, like mouthful, like you said mouthful. That literally means full, F-U-L-L. You said a lot of words. Thanks for playing. Here's your lovely
So
party.
thankful would be thankful?
Yes, you can thank for that. But oftentimes we just do.
That's what I
thank.
thought.
Yeah, you can do that, but you know, you can be thankful that wishful that I'm such a nice teacher. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, you know, you can thank Debbie because she's so nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Mhm.
wishful.
Wishful, yes, you can wishful. There you go. So you can. That's what we're talking about.
But do you,
Gotcha.
do you
How
find
about
you can
useful?
before?
How about useful? Yeah, yeah. You
Can
use.
use.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah.
use.
Now sometimes, depending on the context of the
can.
words, we may just throw the word completely out. But if we want to try to express that idea of being capable of using it, we sign the symbol can. Okay, so there is a huge controversy about the symbol for can. And in fact, one of my students wrote a 10-page paper at Gallaudet about can. All right, so the sign for can is with S's, but lots of people sign it with A.
Yes.
But what is the difference between a marked and an unmarked handshake? Marna! Marked and unmarked handshake. Come on, you know this, please.
The
please.
ones that feel comfortable.
There you go,
and the
there you
ones
go.
that don't.
Exactly. So if we kind of think about this handshake, is it more natural to do this, or is it more natural to do this?
S.
S. Because that's how we grab things. We
Right.
don't grab things like this, right? I wouldn't grab her like this. I put my hands around her like this in an S. So that's the more comfortable handshake. But again, we go back to that way language is expressed. A lot of people sign can this way. It's wrong.
Okay.
It feels so weird.
Did you A's? I know, yes. But don't say Debbie John, you said you're wrong. Say you're wrong.
So for words like that, like playful, grateful,
Mhm.
does the can always come first?
Right, yes, you can think, yeah. It's kind of like, we'll move on, the word less. Okay? So when you think about the word less, you know, you think like it's less, or it's, you know, less, or
Less.
less, Rowena. You can, you know, it's less than. But when I say things like, you'll have to finger spell this interpreter, homeless, because I don't want them knowing what to do. What does that mean, homeless? Without.
No home.
So if I say fingerspell, so if I say thoughtless, what does that really mean?
Without thinking.
Yes. So the word that we use for, no, that's really, okay, so the word that we use for less, sorry, is without. That scares me sometimes. So how do you sign without? Does everybody know you don't? Without? It goes down. Without. So this is with. All right, with, which means, and actually, and this is interesting, I don't know if you know this, the French word for with is avec, A-V-E-C. So this is really a French symbol that we have used. Do you, huh?
Why?
What percent of ASL is our French signs?
Like 60?
It's not that much, but it's really close. It's 40%. 40%. The sign for boy, garçon, and girl, filet, is both those are French symbols. We have a lot. Chausset, for look for.
The 20s, like in the
All the
30s.
20s are French. Yep. Yeah. Because they do un, deux, where Americans do 1, 2. Remember Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
The 3. Right. I always think I love that one. Yeah. They mess up the 3. Kristen. Come on. Get your interpreter hat on, Mariana. There you go. Do your job. Do your job. Okay. All right. So are we good with those words? Yes? Okay. So we're going to go on back. We're going to flip back to the UVB one. What does this mean, raise on face?
I'm thinking raise.
Yes, so just put it right on your face, however you want it to move, however you want it to be there, okay? All right.
Okay. For this experience, would we use this instead of exist?
Wait, what?
Yes, experience.
That's what I
Yes,
thought.
because this experience
Yeah.
means more like skill.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, that's a good question. But that wouldn't be incorrect for, you know, like, oh my gosh, Marianne is such an experienced interpreter.
Right.
Yeah, I might some skill for that.
And skin is
This is a sign for skin. A lot of times I just finger spell it. And don't ever use this for the sign for race, okay? I really hate that. Race. Because
Okay.
race is not always about skin color, and I hate that symbol.
oh, okay.
It's kind of like we'd never sign the word cancer because we don't like that sign. We don't sign any of the American symbols for countries because that's a little oppressive, right? So there's some vocabulary words that you may meet an older deaf person and they may sign it. Literally, how do we sign doctor now? Ooh, like these, mommy. Yeah.
It was in the Vivo simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's because his mom and dad are deaf, and that's why he signs doctor, yeah. But we don't sign it, and I have gone, well, the doctor said, and the deaf person will look right at me, he'll go, doctor. And I'll go, yeah, the doctor said, I don't make a big deal about it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if a deaf person were to say, oh, he's Chinese, I was like, China, or, or I would show them the sign. Because this really is so derogatory to me. I can't. I just can't. It's kind of like when I'm walking in the halls and I'll hear somebody go, oh, that's so gay. And I'll go, I'm sorry. You're an educated person. Are you saying they really are gay as being homosexual and prefer the same sex? Or do you mean it's stupid? And I give them a lecture, man. I know.
Good for you. No, that's
no,
good.
I do. I don't let it slide. I can remember one time Avery had this kid over who's, I'm not even going to go what a terrible kid this is. If I told you the story, we would never get through anything today. I'm walking with a laundry in there, and Alex, that's so gay, man. Boom. And Avery's like, man, you can't use those words in my house. So sure enough, I'm like, come here. Yeah, so now I'm having to give him a lecture. We're never going to get through this game. I hate you. But yeah, I'll let it go. Anyway, so back to deaf people. That's going to have to be on you. That's going to have to be your decision. Are you going to go, oh no, we don't sign doctor anymore? Or like, really? Because things change. It's kind of like, I always say schedule. I say schedule just to make my friend crazy, but it's a correct pronunciation, right? And you all remember the story about the often and how you all say often? You all say often, which is incorrect, but it's okay. You see what I'm saying? So there are ways that you can say things. You can say often, it's all right.
Is that incorrect in Debbie's?
No, it is incorrect in the world of the Cambridge Dictionary.
All right.
And actually, if you look in the dictionary, it will say pronunciation 1 and pronunciation 2. So we always want to be more intellectually inclined, so we always want to go with the first pronunciation.
All right, you're right. All right.
Niche and niche, very good, yeah.
I always say niche.
Yeah, it's a niche, yeah, but you can say niche, because it looks like it. But niche would be the first way to say it, and niche would be the second way. Mauve, M-A-U-V-E, poor baby finger spelling, and mauve.
Are those
Colors. It's one color. No.
Metathesis?
Yes, and metathesis is metathesis.
Yeah.
You know that, right? You can say metathesis. Do you remember what metathesis is, Alana? Oh, anybody? Do you remember, Eric? What does metathesis mean?
Metathesis or metathesis is related to sign language. It's a sign that you can sign anyway. So like flower, you can sign from this side, you can sign from that side.
Right. And related to spoken English, it's two pronunciations of the same word. Yes. That is a phonological process or a compounding process?
Phonological.
Phonological. Look at my bandits. They know this stuff. What, girl? Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay, so this one, I wanted to talk about this one really quickly, and I'm running out of time because I talk too much and you guys talk too much. But what do the brackets mean in glossing? Right, but your hands are moving. So what you're going to do is, and what does WH mean, Alana? Please don't disappoint me.
We can.
No, Alana! Look, the WH goes question goes over, the nominative marker goes over. So what does the WH mean, Tina?
Weekend.
Very good. You know that. The weekend is used as
The one that is being.
reference, right? Yes, the reference. Okay, so what we're doing is going sunbeams, and then we're using our weekend to point to it. Okay, so remember the brackets mean just like Eric and just like Rowena, just like Hannah said. Sorry, interpreter.
I'm not.
Okay, her, him.
Yeah, I just.
We are using both of our hands, so we sign sunbeams and it, and then go back. Something you can't see. Okay, same thing here. You do have to finger spell these words because we need to have them.
UVB is a very strange word. It's very weird.
Yeah.
What do we do with an acronym? I know you want to go. You want to do UVB, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah.
So there we go. This is what you can do. UVB. Remember, if you have an acronym.
That makes it better.
That's not familiar. If it's an acronym, what's an acronym? I'm not, Rowena, what's an acronym? You know!
A short, just abbreviation.
That's right. It's the letters of things like G or my favorite snafu. That's my favorite. Do y'all remember what snafu stands for? Kristen does.
I honestly don't. I just know that word and the definition.
It's like a snag.
What?
Snafu. It's like a snag.
It is like a snag, but it's an acronym.
Yeah.
And if you look it up in the dictionary, it will say situation normal, all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's a military acronym. But you know what's real weird? I was at Target one time looking at games. There's a game called Snafu. I'm like, probably not a good name. Because what if the kid goes, what's snafu mean? And mommy and daddy goes to the dictionary or the computer. Whoa. You know, like really.
Or the kid goes to the dictionary and looks it up.
Yeah, exactly. But it literally is that one. So that's an acronym. It's just the, they take the letters off of a phrase or whatever and put it together, a few words. But when it's common, an acronym, and you can just say an acronym. Sorry, interpreter. Okay. If it's a common acronym, then we just spell it normally, like RID, NAD. Okay, so those are acronyms that are common to the Dutch culture. All right. So why did I put this yellow on named?
Because we're going to say called.
Very, and not A. Right. So how do you name something?
Oh.
Yeah, you're signing A.
Oh.
You're breaking the A.
Oh. So it's called?
Called. Yeah, some people will do it like this, and some people will do it like that.
Okay.
But it really is part of a noun verb pair, because the noun is what?
Subject.
What?
Person's.
Right, so the noun for named is? Name. So when my babies were born, I named them names that weren't common. Okay, I named them. Got it. So that's why that's there. Here's in the five keys. In the five keys, right?
What?
So that passive language. In the five keys. See the it right here? It is so damaging. So what is the it here? It's UVB.
UVB.
Right? And you can do a little tiny UVB. Okay. Going on.
Much.
There's a couple ways that you can sign develop. You can sign develop this way, which again, we're moving away from those initialized symbols. Yeah, and this is, you will see people do develop with the D. I know it's ugly.
And protect? Protect body?
Protect.
And body is just, we're just...
Touch your body.
Okay.
Yep. That's what's cool about sign vocabulary in regard to the body. It's usually just indicating on your body, you know. But
So,
remember, you have eyes, not an eye. All right, so you have to point to both of them. You have ears, not here. Okay, so you have to point to both of them.
Right.
Mouth, nose, you know, you just point to it usually. Okay.
And block?
It's the same thing as protect.
Okay.
Block, protect. Okay, so this is something we were talking about last week in regard to passive language, the by. So, sorry, interpreter. So your skin protects you. Okay, and just It's being respelled by. Absorbing. Do you know the sign for absorb?
I was thinking it would be like this.
You can, yeah, but see, it looks like it
I
accepts
know.
if you do that. So it absorbs,
Ah.
absorbs, and you can do like pull it like this, but this is much clearer.
It's a
to
closed
absorb.
5, right?
Yeah, closed 5. Okay, so what is doing the absorbing? Your skin.
Your
So
skin,
you
right.
use skin or finger spell it. So we need to, before this, by. So your skin protects you by absorbing. Okay, so you would sign the skin absorbs the UVB, or the can absorbs. Okay, moving on.
But you don't have to like, put it like, on your skin.
No.
Okay.
So, what does NS mean right here? Name sign.
Name sign.
So, are we tagging or flagging?
That's what I was hoping.
Very good. So, melanin, M-E-L-A-N-I-N, doesn't have a sub, M-E-L-A-N-I-N, melanin, not like watermelon.
Oh,
Am I there?
12.
Because I knew you were sick and you were late, so I had to charge you.
That was the worst one.
Was it the worst thing you ever saw in your life? They all agree, Mariana. They're like, oh my gosh, it's horrible.
My brain was pretty nice.
How'd she do?
Fine.
Let's get Mariana a big round. She's cranky today.
So is there
What, my dear? Go ahead.
is there something that is already that you know that you use for melanin?
Melanin, I have a sign.
Okay. Do we make up our own?
I want you to make up your own.
Gotcha.
So what is melanin?
It is the pigment in your skin.
We're going to let you do melanin, the shake and see. Remember how we talked about
Right.
for
So
you?
this was actually mine. I did
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes, you all get to decide your sign, okay? I'm sorry, Tina.
No.
Okay. So remember, we don't want to do the shake and see thing because this looks like an incorrect production of. What does this look like an incorrect production of?
Monday.
Right. So we don't want to use that shake and see thing. We hate that.
I was gonna go with the arm.
So melanin is color inside your body, all right? Inside your body and on your skin, which is the largest organ. So you come up with a symbol to represent melanin.
There's some for one.
No, sorry. A couple of it and the 5 keys here. Okay. We good with that? All right, going on. There's a couple ways that you can sign very or various or diverse. So you can sign various. I've seen people do it with L's and just wiggle their index. I see this one. Not one is more right than the other. Whatever you're comfortable with. You could, even do different. Just be careful with that. The sign for sensitive. Anybody? Close. It's like a real fast one. Yeah, sensitive. Which means it comes from that sign for tendency, which comes straight out. So if you're sensitive, it kind of flips. Your personality flips it away. Good?
Uh-huh.
Okay. The sign for less, 100 ways you can do that. You can do less. You can do less, however you want to do it. There's not one particular way. Yes, Mariana?
When I was interpreting, you said something about race, and it's not.
Okay,
So they
there's
were-
a sign, this sign for race.
I didn't see you when you.
If people sign, if you look up in a dictionary, they'll sign race, or not competition race, but as in race of people. And I hate this sign because race is not always necessarily,
So you can do something.
I always finger spell race. Yeah. It's kind of like racist, I always finger spell that as well. Or I will go against race, or I'll go against different groups, something like
It
that.
just came in one year and I didn't remember what you said.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you asked to kind of confirm that in your head. Yeah. You understand, you agree with me, race is not always color, so I think that's just an inappropriate sign, and I think that some hearing person made it up and just kind of imposed it on deaf culture. It's just not appropriate. Yeah. Right. There is a sign in regard to BURN if it's like burning, the fire is burning, but this is not fire on your body, so we finger spell it, okay?
And probably is, I know.
Probably, maybe.
That's what I
Alright.
thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I think something that we mentioned last week is when I first started teaching this course, I would have the students gloss it, and then I would spend like most of the class fixing their glossing.
We
And so
appreciate
oftentimes-
that.
Yeah. Oftentimes students would write glosses that I necessarily wouldn't have picked, but as you see, how many stimuli have we gone through? 9, 8? Yeah, that's a lot to keep going back through and just fixing all those little details. So, yeah, probably maybe, but you're right, Tina, the gloss, if we were to look it up in a dictionary, would be maybe. But good question. The sign for beach, there's 100 ways you can do it. You can use it as a fingerspell love sign. You can do beach, you can do beach. How do you guys sign beach?
Beach.
Beach.
Either one.
I think this is the one that more and more people...
Your fingers wiggle?
It can or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I seen it wiggle, but I wasn't sure. I just
And
wanted to make
honestly, to me, this, the water coming towards makes a lot more sense than the water going away. For no other reason than when you think about the beach, you're not standing in the water, right? And that's what this would have, yeah, so I don't know why I did that. In New York, they do beach like this.
sure. Oh.
Yeah, because they don't go in the water.
They don't go in the water.
Something
In
like-
Puerto Rico, like,
Something like that.
well, we sign model like
Yeah, but I
this.
think it's like this.
Beach.
Like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I love the Puerto Rican sign for cockroach. The Puerto Ricans are so funny. Early. Okay, so how would we do early? How would we do? See what I glossed up there? During the summer. So we want to express that early in the summer. How could we express early? We're going to sign during. You can sign beginning in the beginning of the summer, or you could just say during the summer. You could just put that non-manual marker during, all right? And that will let us know that. Again, that passive language, it's all over the place. So, you know, in the 5 keys.
Realize is that's what I thought.
Yes. Another thing that you can do, and remember, this glossing is not, you know, this is how it is.
Right.
It's really a guide. You can notice instead of realize. You could see. You know, it doesn't have to be just this vocab.
Okay.
But